What's his name? It's or
Oh,
is that
yeah,
Brown?
yeah. No, I did. I saw it, but I didn't hear it yet. All right, let me see this shit.
It says we're live, by the way. I just got a notification.
Nice.
Nice. It
Nice,
says
nice.
we're live on the way. It's kind of.
All right, dope. I think I'm good now. All right, I had the here. Let me go back to and pull this up. I want to just have the wiki up. So, Dev, have you actually listened to the album yet?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. I thought you were just gonna be like, nah, man, I'm doing this shit. I'm not even gonna listen to it. All right, hold up. All right, lit. All right, we got that. No message. All right, lit. All right, man. We're just gonna get started. If Lou could jump on, then he'll just jump on and join us. It'll be all good. All right, man. Do you want to start at the top? We were talking about before. We were shocked that this dude 40 even has a beat on this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. 40 and Frankie Pat. So basically, the two biggest niggas on the album come first.
Yeah, but I feel okay. First of all, it's kind of weird that Plain Pat would do this shit when I feel like Plain Pat's supposed to be in Kanye's camp.
That is kind of weird, but I mean, yeah, I'm sure like a lot of people from Kanye haven't spoken to him in so long or something.
Yo, I can see that nigga Plain Pat being like bitter about some dumb shit like that. Actually,
Hold up, real quick.
yeah, yeah. Oh shit, Dev, is that the gamer headphones?
Uh, I mean, it's like $20. It's nothing crazy. It's like just like a regular old like Xbox mic.
Nah, that's sick. I see. Now I know you be gaming low key for real, man.
Say it again.
Now I know you be gaming for real low key, yo.
You need to get into gaming.
You be gaming, bro.
Oh, me? No, I don't. I do not game like that. I mean, I used to, but I have like one game. I might play it for like 30 minutes, maybe like 30 minutes to an hour a week, maybe. But that's only now because like there's so much time in the day to do so many things. So yeah.
Nah, I feel that. I feel that, man. Yo, actually, this looks like the perfect setup. Like, we actually look like we could be pulling like the crazy heist of somebody right now. We look like fucking like terrorists. This is great. All right, Dev. How was you feeling about Deep Pockets, the first song off the rip?
But honestly, it just reminded me of like a old throwaway track that I really didn't want to hear. It just seemed like it wasn't anything fresh, wasn't anything new. And then I
It,
mean, when I was first listening to the album, I just jumped to straight like track 10. But I went back and I was on track 1 and I'm just like, "Damn, I'm so glad I skipped to track 10 cuz like this shit's whack." Like it didn't really get good until maybe I don't know, that Chris Brown track. But
that, and so you didn't even give it like the right one. You just say I'm going straight to Cardi. But not
right.
yeah, like that first track was like almost like some comeback season shit.
Yeah, it was a
Like
little. It felt a little
Yeah.
boring though. It felt like when I heard, it, I was just like, "Yo, this is cool," but like nothing that I would like remember. I think that was my thing mostly. It was like Like, how is this shit like memorable in any way? Like, this shit is just I don't know. That's how I felt about it at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah, I totally. I'm wondering what his thought process was for dropping this this mixtape or this shit. Anyway, it just seemed like extremely unnecessary.
Yo,
And like, if he's in a position that he's in, like, I feel like Drake is almost in a Kanye VMAs type of position where he had this extremely big L, and then from that point on, you need to be you need to be perfect on game. You need to be A+ in order to like win back people. But I don't think he's been doing that. I think he's been losing and just he keeps losing. Like I don't know why he dropped this album in particular.
yeah,
But in terms of Deep Pockets, it just wasn't really like that inspiring as a first track. But yeah.
yo, yeah. Now, honestly, it felt like market research because
Mm,
it's barely cohesive. But like and you got songs like Tootsie Slide. So which is crazy by the way. He had like a whole dance like that. That was wild. That was embarrassing because it's like you don't need that as Drake. But yeah,
yeah,
it was a pretty like disjointed experience. But I mean, it had some bangers.
yeah, I would say that too. It definitely like didn't feel like a cohesive body of work at all. Like when I look at all these songs listed, I'm like, bro, okay, here's my thing too. Most of the dope tracks, like for me, dropping When to Say When, Chicago Freestyle and War before this project was out, I think that was actually a mistake because if I would have just heard those tracks, like now, I'd have been like, oh shit, like that's dope that like Drake is trying to like rap again, trying to do dope shit. But now that I feel like instead it's like this shit where it's like, oh, I heard these, I'ma skip them. Then you're right. I mean, that shit basically off rip. Like Deep Pockets is whack. When to Say When, Chicago Freestyle. I think those are actually pretty dope tracks. But then by then, you know now, but I'm not gonna listen to them like that right now. When you just put out a new album, cause I want to hear the new shit. So then, even when I played them, I'm like halfway listening and trying to wait till the new track happens, and then boom, you slide into a Chris Brown track. You're already 4 tracks in, and it's like you might not necessarily be like wowed yet. Whereas like if you would have held those tracks back, by the second track I'd have been like, oh shit, like this is gonna be a crazy experience. I
Yeah,
don't know, that was
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, nah, yeah, and that kind of makes me think like, yo, you're playing it way too safe and scared. So it's like you drop these tracks, which are great, Chicago Freestyle, When to Say When, but like you're not confident enough to just drop 'em on an album because that actually would have been a crazy moment. 3 tracks in, I would have been like, oh shit,
Yeah,
I think this nigga be the greatest nigga, like.
yeah, yeah. I agree. So like, so now I want to ask y'all because I think that y'all probably know, what Chris Brown could do a lot better than like I do. I just don't. I'm not up on do like I like really probably like I should be. But what did y'all think about this Chris Brown Drake track? And then what do y'all think about them collabing in general? Like lately they've done a couple tracks together. Um, yeah, man, I would love to know what y'all think about that.
It almost felt I don't know like it felt like Chris just like breathed on the track for like 3 seconds and that was his future.
Yeah, 100%. He was like not there very much. It seemed like he was only on the track just to like spite Rihanna. Like I don't even know why they're collabing in the first place. Like I feel like
Mm,
that's like low key that's just fucked up in general. Like I don't really want I wouldn't be doing tracks with like a nigga that like beat my girl. Like that's crazy. Like or even if it was like my ex girl, but that's outside of the music. But
You
I
know, they're not a weird ass collab. Like it didn't have to happen. Like they had beef, they patched it up, but it definitely feels like a little forced. And then
yeah.
like, I almost feel like Chris probably had like a whole verse on it, and then Drake just said, "Yo, I'm just gonna like leave in like 3 seconds of him breathing, and that'll do."
Yo,
1000%.
but Drake is also the type of dude that will get his engineers to cut you the fuck out of a track. So, Chris Brown might have did a whole fucking like singing his heart out on this shit. He might have did a whole like good 30 seconds of just crooning and then like Drake was like, "Nah, I'm good." Yo, I
That
think,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think Lou's on this shit. Are you on? We can't hear you. Unmute yourself, yo. Oh wait, hold on. Maybe I gotta go in and unmute myself. Hold up, I forgot. He,
Oh shit.
nah.
He's on.
Let me change. I'm gonna change his settings real quick. Hold up.
I can still talk about this Drake, Chris Brown track. Like, if
Oh,
my girl caught me making a song with a nigga that beat her up, she would just kill me. She wouldn't even like ask about it. It would, like I'd be off the next day. It's a wrap.
but
Like,
I think both of them like don't even talk to Rihanna anymore. So that's kind of why I think they shouldn't have done it because they kind of look like you know what I mean like some high school dudes like nah we still strong and cool even though Rihanna don't fuck with either of us anymore.
yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
yo, Lou, hop off, then hop back on. You should have permissions now. All right,
Damn.
there we go. He's been.
They go.
Yeah,
Yo, what's up, man? Welcome in, man.
it's good.
Nah, man, we were just on track 4, man. We're talking about Chris Brown and his I guess his lack of an appearance on this fucking track.
That shit not even surprising, bro.
Chris breathe on the track.
All right, man. So let's get into the track that I don't know, man. I'm actually excited to hear what y'all think about this one, man. Like, how we feeling about Tootsie Slide, man? Like, all right. Here's the thing. We know that we don't like what the content of the track. Here's my thing. I don't even think it was actually ever a number one track. I don't believe that. Like, I know it's supposed to be number one on the charts, but I don't see how the fuck it's possible that this track could be number one. That don't make no fucking sense to me, man. I refuse to believe it.
It's terrible. I mean, it's you know it's obviously. I mean, it would have been cool if this track was like given to like some unknown artist, so someone who wasn't rich already, like you know, had a crazy dance. I don't even know if this shit would have gone number one without it being a good track.
Oh hell no, hell no. Like I feel like it was just like that shit just shows you how much power Drake has in the music industry. Like it was just like, yo, this is gonna be a number one track. Like it like whoever just types it in, like they just typed it in that it was number one. Like they just put some fake numbers behind it. Like I seen nobody on TikTok really doing that shit, period. That shit did not pop off as a viral dance. Ain't no black people I mean, there's no cookouts happening, so obviously nobody's doing it at a cookout. There's there's nothing. There's no place where this song even makes sense right now. It was terrible timing. It's COVID times. He talking about left foot, right foot stomp. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is the worst situation you could possibly drop this track into.
In the middle of a pandemic, and like like the dance doesn't even make sense. Like there's no place and time where you can even do the dance. There's no like venue where that's possible.
You doing the Tootsie Roll in line at the grocery store, like that just don't work. Yeah. I do think that like maybe the track was so bad and it performed so like poorly that he decided, oh, let me like clean this up and just drop it on a demo tape. Because that song is not a demo tape. That song had like a full music video. It had the whole rollout. It's got a dance to it. It's TikTok ready. Like it's all that. But then he put it on this throwaway album. So like I think this whole album in general is uh yeah, I think it's just like a way for him to just throw his failed single into like a project without it looking like he, took a misstep.
I could totally see that. I mean, dude, I would totally agree with that. I mean, my thinking is too, like, but like, I mean, is this the case of somebody just trying too hard? Is this something that we can all look at and be like, yo, like, sometimes it's just too much. Like, trying to make it TikTok ready, trying to make it like, black cookout music. But then also in the verses, he's talking about shooting niggas. Ain't trying to be on some gangster rap shit. I feel like it's just too much going on. Like if he would have stuck to one of those lanes, like I would have respected Drake if he actually made like like a new what's that song like Cha Cha Slide or some shit. I don't know. Like that would have been fine. Like I feel like that could have been cool if he went with it like 1,000% and just made some like black cookout music. But this don't really
Yeah,
feel like that either. Like my grandmother ain't gonna want to listen to that dumb shit.
yeah. Because it's like, what is it? Is it a family song?
Yep.
Is it for for the girls? But you talk about fireworks on niggas. Like, and then like one weird thing too is like he kept posting people dancing to this song on his IG, and it was going on for like weeks, and it just felt like somebody who had their first hit. Like it was weird. Like I mean I don't know. It was just kind of like the whole shit was just kind of like insecure coming from him.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, like, yo, you Drake. Like, you don't need this dance. You don't need this song. If you would have dropped the album with the ski mask on, without 2C slide and all that lead up, it would have been like kind of like some cold shit,
Yeah.
some dark shit. You know what I mean? But like he fumbled the dark bag.
Nigga can't even be dark right. That's crazy. Alright, man. No, that shit's hilarious, man. Alright, now we got the track. Alright, so here's something else that I want to get into. Now we got this track, Desires, featuring Future, which I thought was cool. I mean, I like Future. I think Future just destroyed him on this track. But I'm also one thing that's weird is like I never heard of neither of these producers. I never heard of this dude D Hill or Cadastro, whoever this cat is. Um, and that's something I'm feeling is kind of like interesting right now. Like you don't see like a lot of boy wonders with Drake no more, and I think like a lot of the other cats that kind of like helped him define his sound. And now it's like he has a whole new generation of people that are making this music, but it's like the same sound. So that's kind of weird, but I don't know. I thought this Desires track was cool, but also for me, nothing that like super blew me away.
Yeah, yeah. I was reading about the recording of the album, and like basically he had like a bunch of producers like all in the same house in LA or some shit,
Mm,
and it was like basically just pumping shit out for 3 weeks. But yeah, I mean it doesn't. It's like he's got different people, but he basically made his people do the sound or made these new people do the sound that he been had.
yeah,
Mm. Yeah, like I definitely think like for me, Desires is like even though it came out before the whole album dropped, that's probably like my favorite track. It's like it's got the perfect mix of Future and Drake. Future's not getting like overwashed by Drake. They both kind of have their own style to it. It's like a fresh track. It's not trying too hard. It doesn't feel empty or anything. Like it goes. But yeah, it I don't know. This whole album is just very just disorganized in my opinion. So sometimes like I don't know, to go from Tootsie Slide to Desires, that's just a weird like sequence in general. And that also goes with like Drake in general. Like I just feel like he's not an album person. Like if I were to be like honest, like 1000%, I don't think Drake has like any classics to be honest. Like Take Care is like it's a almost a nine, I guess, in my opinion. But like if I'm talking classics, like Drake doesn't have a classic. And yeah, like
I would
I
agree
think
with
he's a
that.
playlist artist.
That's crazy. I would agree with that, bro. I was actually thinking about that going into this. I was like, man, like I feel like Drake has like no classic albums, and I mean, Take Care is cool, but bro, like I went back and I re-listened to Take Care. Um, like not like last week. At some point during quarantine, you have mad time to just listen to mad shit. So I was listening to Take Care, and I was like, "Yo, this shit is good, but there's mad skippable tracks, like mad skippable tracks." So I was like, "Nah, I'm not banging with that." So I just thought that was like kind of strange. Um, yeah, I don't know. That was my thinking on that one, man. It was just like I don't know. I agree. No classics from Drake. Hold up. I gotta switch up my computer real quick. No classics from the man Drake. Yeah, I don't feel so.
Yeah, like he has like a classic body of like his entire discography is classic, but he has no like classic album, and
Yeah,
it's usually because it's
totally.
like this. It's a disjointed experience. Great tracks mixed with like tracks that are ass. And it's just like no type of discernment.
Yeah.
Facts.
That
Facts.
that also makes me think like he doesn't have like, you know how like when Jay-Z dropped, the Blueprint, that's like a moment itself. When Kanye dropped My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, that's a moment. But when Drake drops an album, like that's not it's not even really a moment. It's not memorable. So his like most memorable moments are usually when he gets like, a diss. And that's kind of like, I don't know, that's kind of like odd to me.
Yo,
I'm not sure. Like,
it's
yeah, it's weird.
toxic. It's toxic. Like you know what I'm saying? Because it's like yo, like who's the common denominator in this like negative shit going on in hip hop? Like so,
Mm.
But it's hard. Like that's what's so crazy is like he does all this shit. He makes all this negative shit happen in rap, but somehow he's seen as this like very peaceful, very like meek sort of like I don't know like blameless guy. Like he don't get blamed for shit for some reason, and that's like incredible. Like I don't understand how he does that shit. Like he don't get blamed for nothing, man. He could do the most fucked up shit, and people just act like whoever's going against him is the one who's wrong.
yo, I mean,
Like,
honestly, yo, it's a lot of reasons why that probably happens, but like, I don't even want to like get into all those reasons and look, yo, because that shit is wild. But yeah, I mean, like, if your eyes are open, you see it, you
Yeah,
see it.
yeah. Nah, that's true. That's real. It's real, man. I mean, but I see that there's weird things I think he does. Like for me personally, his relationship with certain people, it's it's obviously so weird, and but he doesn't want to like also separate from the people because I feel like I know he needs them. So Future like played him countless of times and been like, oh, that album never happened, or like when he was on tour with him, he was like, yo, like this nigga not better than me. Like I actually have more hits than him. Like Future doesn't necessarily ever like go out of his way to give Drake a crazy amount of love, and it seems like Drake always trying to ride Future's wave. And I think Kanye's the same way. Like he actually has these issues with Kanye, but then I feel like he keeps Kanye and like the essence of Kanye just like close enough to him. Like even the way of how much Drake raps about Virgil now, I feel like that's his way of trying to also still get at Kanye. Like I don't know, like everything that he does, it also just feels like this weird like it feels like he's competing with Jay Z, but then like not like it's like even Pusha T, like I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to get Pusha T on a track or did a track with Pusha T. Even now, after Pusha T like exposed his kid and shit, like I feel like Drake doesn't have like morals in that way. Like to him, this is not beef or battles. It's just this weird, I don't know, like game that this nigga plays.
Yeah, it's almost like some art school shit.
Yeah,
Like
I would
it's
definitely
wild.
say that. All right, so now we have this track. So I'm not even going to front like between desires um, which I agree is a dope track. I think it's like what you kind of like some of the best like probably what you would expect from a future Drake track when they on that vibe. And then you get to Time Flies and yeah, I don't know. I think like I think for me everything between Desires and D4L freestyle just kind of gets lost, and I think in the how dope those two tracks are. Um, I don't know, man. What do we think about Time Flies? I wasn't in love with that. I don't think that was gonna necessarily stick with me like that.
I like I fuck with it. I mean, it'll probably get burned like in the car and shit, but like it definitely it still is on some like oh yeah I've heard this Drake track before. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah,
but nah, I mean it was just like some fly shit. But you know what I mean? Like it wasn't no like crazy hit record.
yeah. That's what
yeah,
I'm saying.
same.
Yeah, it feels like he has a bag that he's getting into, and like it's like this is his lane, and he's like staying in this for now. With a lot of this album, it's like, oh man, like yeah, like it's like a bunch of new cats who are like trying to perfect the Drake sound even more. And I think that's kind of dope for someone who doesn't produce himself. It's kind of dope that he has such a strong sound. That man, that's not like I mean that shows partially of why he's at where he's at, why he is who he is, right? It's like he's one of the few vocalists who could go into a room and like also get a sound out of these people who are obviously talented dudes.
Yeah. I mean, not yeah. I mean, like that. That kind of like maybe when it's all said and done, like people will start to look at him like a producer.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. But it's like yo, yeah. Like we know you can do this, but like where else are you gonna take it? You know what I mean? Because Kanye would take it somewhere, Jay-Z would take it somewhere. Like
Yeah.
they'll like they're not afraid to fail. You know what I mean? Like they've consistently shown that they try new things.
Yeah, and I feel like that's one thing. I feel like for me, maybe that's one thing that's missing with this album is like at least his last few projects, like he's tried on different things. Like he was trying on the Afro beat shit. He was trying on like like the British culture and shit like that. He's been trying on all these different things, which I think was like people got mad at him for different reasons with all that. But like now this album feels mad safe. Like he was like out like I'm just gonna go for what I feel works, but then at the same time, it's like throwaways. So it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I feel like he's had like darker tracks to be honest. Like, cause when I seen the cover, I was like, yo, like, it's a lot of ways you can critique Drake, but I'm a real big fan of Dark Demon Drake.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want the worst from him. You know what I mean? Like worst behavior.
Nah, facts. All right, let's see. Oh, Landon. I'm glad to see Cardo got a beat on here. That's sick. Um,
Yeah,
Shouts to Cardo, man. Like I just want him to win. I mean that's mostly how I feel about that. I think that's a really dope look for Cardo. I think he deserves it. I think this also goes to show though, like the mainstream, like they definitely be paying attention to what's happening in other forms of rap. So like I think even for someone like this is a big win for someone like like Sir Mikey Rocks. Like if Cardo's on there producing for a Drake track, then I feel like that's a win for like the underground and like internet rap fans too.
yeah. It was like a political win, but I just like like that try. I'll always skip that
Yeah.
because it's just like I don't know. That shit just feels like I was kind of insulted because I was like, come on, fam, like yo, we don't need this from you.
No,
Like
he could have went way crazier. Honestly, like that's the type of situation where you get in where like even if you reuse the old beat, I wouldn't be mad at that. Like if Cardo had used the beat that he gave to like Lil B or something, and they just tweaked it a little bit and dropped it, that would have been fine. That could have been dope.
didn't Ricardo do God's plan?
Did he? Let's see. I guess we can check real quick. Let me see.
I
If
feel
he
like
did,
he got for that.
let me see.
It's really weird the type of beats that Drake gets from Ricardo. Because if he did God's plan, I don't know, it's different. Because I like Cardo like has like a
Yeah.
lot of
Yep. You're
old
Yeah,
right.
albums
Cardo.
that feel completely different from anything he's ever given Drake.
Wow, that's super weird, man. That's mad weird. Like, okay, yeah, Cardo got a whole different like set of presets that this nigga using for Drake beats, man. What the fuck?
Nah, like I mean, props to him for like knowing like what type of bag to open like when he works with Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like oh if like if I'm trying to get a Drake placement and get a hit, like this is the type of shit because he has like classics. He has like classic tapes with his own Cardo sound that like Drake is on nothing like that shit.
No, that's what's crazy. I mean, I would love to hear like Drake on a track like that, but shouts to Cardo because Cardo's getting placements with Drake, and I'm sure this nigga is yeah. I mean, he way beyond now anybody who was fucking with him in that era. Like, what the fuck? God's Plan is a mega hit. I'm sure this album's gonna do crazy numbers. Like, he's gonna be crazy good.
Yeah. Oh no, he's. I mean, yeah, and then his, what I mean, his non-mainstream shit just still bubbling.
Yup. Yup.
Mm.
Nah, that's huge. That's huge. Um, all right, let me see. This next track, D4L Freestyle, I think that's my favorite shit on this album, man. This shit, I was like, Southside is probably like my favorite trap producer. I love his beats, like so many classics from him. Um, I love his style, what he does. Future and Young Thug go fucking insane on this track. I love the parts where them two are like going back and forth on the verses. Um, Honestly, man,
Yeah.
I don't. I'm wondering, like, I'm like, how did Drake even get on this song? How did it become his song? This shit, you didn't even need him on this shit. I think whatever Drake did, I feel like Drake heard this track and just paid them niggas to get the song because he wasn't even necessary, man.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, I felt the exact same way. I was like, yo, this shit is crazy, but I wish it doesn't even sound like the final version of it. Like, it kind
Yeah,
of sounds like it could be mixed a little better, but it's like I feel like someone like Drake shouldn't even have a song with this type of title. Like you don't deserve that. You're not Atlanta royalty. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it felt weird. It was like, yo, this is crazy, but like, why is it Drake's track? But okay.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
Nah, it was fire though. Them niggas went crazy. Um, Dev, this next one is your track, man. Tell us about Pain 1993, man.
Yo. So honestly, like the track is dope, and of course, like Playboy Cardi's like feature, it's kind of like in that same realm of reception as like his single as well. Like it didn't live up to what people wanted, and I think that that's something that Playboy Cardi might just be playing around with. Like he's just like not, I don't know, meet people's expectations of what they want, but he's like doing other shit. And like, I mean, like, verse was cool and it was a throwaway track, so like, sure. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I think people would have enjoyed it more if they just would have just like dropped it on SoundCloud and not